I feel like the term AI has become this unavoidable conversation amongst the human race. The same way that everyone uses the conversation starter, what do you do for work? You could ask the question, what are your thoughts on AI? And chances are, your grandmother or your great grandfather who dug his way out of the grave would spark up a discussion about AI with you for days before going back to bed 6 feet below. It's that big. In fact, I would go as far as calling it part of our infrastructure. I feel like every so often, I'm gonna keep coming out with sequels to this video where I talk about the latest advancement in AI until it's taken all of our jobs. Then I'll make a prequel video about how it all went wrong. As it stands, we have the technology to deepfake somebody else's voice and their face. We can generate entire video based on text prompts. We can generate a continuation to a video that already exists. And we can have a heartfelt conversation with it, which is a technology that the public has access to. My best guess is that only the military had access to this technology 15 years ago to use as propaganda for the enemy. But we'll probably never know that answer. For a minute, I was seeing old vines from a decade ago be turned into this horror scenario where time travelers were invading to change the outcome of all these timeless classics. Like, for example, the "What's 9 plus 10" kid says his infamous 21 line, but instead of him saying 21, a time traveler in a robe breaks down the door to prevent this from happening. Another video I saw, which I'll dive into here in a minute, it's AI-generated Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay, the game from 2009, all thanks to a software called Luma Dream Machine, which I'm almost certain was what spawned all of these AI continuation videos to begin with. Of course, there are many clones of this tool out there, but Luma Dream Machine appears to be the most consistent. As you can tell by the thumbnail of this video, there's a lot to unpack here. This channel basically takes the most iconic missions in the game and generates an alternate timeline where we get a more bizarre take. Like, for example, at the beginning of the mission No Russian, the civilians in the airport retaliate by transforming into tree people with spears. Or let's just say that this was the Wookiees against the Republic Commando. Another example would be Ghost survives, and instead of Shepard blasting him with a 44, they just do an old YouTuber boxing match. Who could have seen this coming? The prophecy is true. Another great mission was when you drive your boat into the waterfall, and Captain Price turns into a bird. You get the point, though. This technology is getting a lot of laughs. Like I said before, they're taking old vines, old cutscenes, and turning it into something marvelous. But what if I told you there's something being cooked up in Hell's Kitchen? No, I mean quite literally Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, I really don't want to have to revisit this, but it's time to finally face my fear of the dreaded egg world. A universe that is only made of eggs, including the people themselves. Like being tormented by your sleep paralysis demon, this is exactly that. Only difference is he exists in the breakfast hell dimension. Now, I don't think these videos contain anything that's against YouTube's terms of service, but I am almost convinced that they would get flagged by the community just for being straight up disturbing. Like that recent Smart Schoolboy 9 lore, this is up there with what you'd consider to be disturbing to watch, despite there being a lack of any violence or nudity. It's just straight up weird and gross. I'll try to show you, I guess, like an image from the video, because I am not taking my chances providing you the full steamy mess. So yeah, there you go. A horrific mess of events. Now on a lighter note, there are AI-generated videos that are mostly harmless and just kind of emulate a real person's dream. It's actually kind of odd how canon these transitions are. For example, you'll see someone reading a book, and then they transform into an ATV, and the ATV takes off like an airplane and lands on the Tower Bridge in London. You know, crazy shit that almost makes these videos seem canon to the dreams you and I have. Hence the name Luma Dream Machine, which I can't confirm is the same software used here. But it's obvious that the developers in the lab saw their creation and realized that they basically recreated the human brain in a dream state, looking down at their hands like, I did this. We did this. These hands, they did this. I am become Sandman, destroyer of bedtime. Which, going back to my original point where I said this AI software is a canon event, it quite literally is. I can confidently say that I have now experienced a nightmare that was caused by a nightmare, just scrolling through Instagram at midnight as a human would, and the algorithm just blessing my eyes with that one disturbing AI post. And yes, I do not use TikTok to watch these videos. They probably exist on TikTok as well, but I would argue that the TikTok algorithm is its own sentience. The way it recommends videos tuned to your humor, interests, favorite foods, watch history, subject patterns, etc., is a form of artificial intelligence. Now, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this app being a Chinese spyware app that's logging personalities of the entire human race, but can anyone really, and I mean really confidently say that Instagram, Facebook, X, or Google aren't doing the exact same thing? They all operate on farming user data to turn a profit for advertisers. This isn't some boogeyman, the end is near type beat. It's just the reality of using these free and paid platforms. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. I use Instagram Reels because I basically see the same exact videos that I would see on TikTok, right? So if you're what the kids call TikTok famous, right, it only makes sense that you also upload your videos to Reels and YouTube Shorts as well, giving your mukbang content more exposure. But back to my subject of AI generated content on Instagram. Sometimes you don't even need to scroll through your feed to find these videos. I opened the web-based version of Instagram on PC, selected the Explore page, and literally the most abstract and disturbing content just flashes before my eyes. Pages and pages of it. Mind you, this just does not happen when I open the app on my iPhone. I get mostly very generic and harmless comedy, but never would I see an AI-generated pet baby dragon that also happens to be a crossbreed of a drumstick from Buffalo Wild Wings. But yeah, if you've also seen an uptick in AI-generated content, let me know. And I guarantee this isn't the end of me talking about this.